Okay, today's daf is Masechta Sanhedrin, daf 51, Nun Aleph. And just gonna quote, bring up to the on the screen here what we're discussing. We're discussing a very simple pasuk in the Torah in Parshas Emor. The Torah says, "Ubas ish kohen," the daughter of a kohen, of a man who is a kohen. Kiseicha liznois, if she starts or she defiled herself, liznois, to turn away, do something, esavihi mechaleles, she shamed her father, and therefore be'esh tisarev, she gets burned in fire. So with reading this pasuk, you don't have no idea what the pasuk is talking about. But we, as Chazal learned this pasuk is talking about a married woman, for sure a married woman that was a Kohen. She comes from a Kohen family and she's married and she does nus, she does adultery. Normally, adultery gets chenek, the choking death. Just because she's a Kohen, she shamed her family, she gets sreifa. Be'esh tisar, she's burned in fire. Rabbi Shimon, that's the opinion of Rabbi the Rabbanan. Rabbi Shimon just adds that not only if she was a married woman, even if she was a Nara Hamarasa, 12-year-old that's just engaged, she gets also sreifa. Whereas the Chachamim will say that a married Nara Hamarasa, even if she's a Kohen, she would get skila like a regular Bas Yisrael. And this is the whole pasuk, Bas Yisrael. That's the whole discussion of today's daf. Is how do you read this pasuk? How did we know what it's talking about adultery? Maybe it's talking about this girl who's a Kohen. Father was a Kohen. She did Chil Shabbos. So a couple of things that we're going to discuss today. So here we are on the bottom, second wide line of Nun Amid Beis. Let me bring it up. Okay, second wide line, Nun Amid Beis. The Gemara is going to begin Tanu Rabbana. So Tanu Rabbanan, you see it on your screen here. Let me make it bigger. Tanu Rabbanan, the rabbis taught, Ubas ish kohen kiseichel, a girl, I guess, who's from the daughter of a kohen, a man who's a kohen, kiseichel, she defiled herself. So maybe she did something wrong. So the first thing we're going to say, Yochel, I would have thought, Afil chila Shabbos, even if she was just Mechal Shabbos, she gets Sreifa. Normally a chilul Shabbos gets skila, but I would say that she's a Kohen's daughter, she should get Sreifa. Talmud Loimed Liznois. It's only if she committed adultery. It's not because she was Mechal Shabbos, but she committed Bechalulin Shabbos Nus HaKasam Adaber. The Tosfos is talking about she did Znus. Usually, znus by a woman refers to adultery, but sometimes znus could refer to like avodah zarah, other averos. But here it refers to znus. So Yachal, I would have thought that it's not talking about a married woman who is a kohen. Afila pnuya, even if she was an unmarried, a 15-year-old girl that's not married, she just came back from seminary, and Leilenu, she was mizana. I would think that she gets sreifa also. So the answer is no. Nemakan avia. It says the word avia by this pasuk as avia he mechalelis. V'nema lahalan avia. Then it says by a nara hamurasa, a regular Jewish girl who's a nara hamurasa, she's engaged. She so there the Torah uses the word avia. She did liznois beves avia. She did something while she was in her father's house before she got married. She gets skila. Malahalan nus im sabal. So therefore, there it's talking about she's engaged to somebody. She's connected to a husband. Afkan znus im sabal. It's the girl who did znus, despite the fact she had a connection with her husband. So basically, she betrayed her husband. A pnuya, an unmarried girl, doesn't betray anybody. So that's not the pasuk that it's not that's not the topic of the subject of our pasuk. Or maybe I'll say like this: maybe that the pasuk is saying ubas ish kohen ki listeners. Let's bring the pasuk as a via he mechaleles. Maybe it's talking about she did znus with her father. How do you know that it's talking about she did znus with anybody? And that's the third question. So, when it says she gets defiled, she's the defiling one. So she must be defiling a stranger, not just her father. She was always also to her father. So it's talking about she was mizana with somebody else besides her father. Homani Mekayim Obviya. What does it mean that she was Mizana with her father? What does the Torah say? The word of Fiyah teaches us she was a Xeris Shava, that we're talking about, the subject of we're talking about is a Nesua, a married Bas Kohen, who was Mizana with anybody. Not just she was Mizana with her father, but she was Mizana with somebody else. So normally a woman, a married woman, adulteress, gets chenek, she's going to get sreifa. So now, if you're going to compare her to Avia, Imalahala Nara Viarusa, Avkan Nara Viarusa, maybe the pasuk over here, Baskish Coin, is only talking about Nara Hamurasa. How do you know it's talking about a Kohen daughter that is, since you have the Gzeir Shava, that pasuk further on is talking about a 12-year-old girl that's in Arusa. So maybe this pasuk also is talking about a 12-year-old that's in Arusa. Nara v'hinasua, b'geres v'yarusa, b'geres v'hinasua, b'afilis kinam. How do I know that it could be a married woman or an older married woman, or older just engaged woman, not a Nara, or even an old woman who's married 25 years with her husband, and she's a Bas Kohen? How do you know that is the subject of the Torah? Talmud loyma ubas Kohen mikol makom. She's the daughter of a Kohen. It doesn't matter if she is 12 years old or 45. It doesn't matter. So both scenarios, she's going to get sreifa. So the opinion that this brisa we're going to learn later on is Rabbi Shimon, that this pasuk over here, Basis Kohen, Kiseicha Liznos, Savia Hi Mechalelash, Ba'ish Disaref, is a daughter of a Kohen, whether she's a married woman and she did znos, or even she's not yet married. She's just a 12-year-old that's engaged. Even though a 12-year-old that's engaged would get skila if she was a Bas Yisrael, in this case, she gets, according to the Sreifa, because Reb Shimon learned that the more severe punishment is Sreifa, giving her the burning. Now the final thing is Bas Kohen. We learned the bottom of the line. Now we go to Nun Aleph Amid Aleph. Bas Kohen. It says the daughter of a Kohen. Maybe the Chumash is saying that when does this girl get sreifa? If this daughter of a Kohen is married to another Kohen, because she could still eat truma. How do you know? Only Elish Nisus LeKohen. Only if she was married to a Kohen. Nisus LeLevi Yisrael. Let's say she was married to a Levi or Yisrael. Lukusi Lecholol Lemamzel Noser Menayin. Let's say she was married to a Goy or a Cholol or a Mamzer. Either way, she's not eating truma. And in some instances, when she's married to a Mamzer or a Nosen or a Goy, she is defiled from ever marrying a Kohen. So she really lost her Kedushas Kahuna, whatever it is. So therefore, she already, by the marriage definition itself, she's not a Kohenes anymore. So maybe in that case, if she does nus while she's married, she would not get sreifa. Talmud loyma ubas ish Kohen. It doesn't say the daughter of a Kohen. It's the bas ish Kohen. She's still a daughter of her father was a Kohen, of a man who was a Kohen. It doesn't matter what she did to herself. Afal pisha eina Kohenes, even though she's not a Kohenes, if she just defiled herself beforehand, or she's married to a lady Yisrael, she can't even eat truma, still she would get sreifa. He besreifa, she gets sreifa. So this adulterous lady gets the sreifa, the ain by aleha, the adulterer besreifa. He doesn't get sreifa. He probably gets chenek. He besreifa, she gets sreifa. Vein zememel besreifa. And if she had Adim Zoyimim that tried to set her up, they don't get sreifa, they get chenek. Rabbi Lezer says a cryptic thing, esavia besreifa and veschamia beschila. While she's by her father, means she's an arusa, she gets sreifa. While she's chamia, while she has a father-in-law, that means she got married, she gets skila. Now this doesn't line up with any opinion. We're going to discuss this later on. So Amamar, we're just going to review the brisa again. Brisa said that vas ish kohen kiseichel ziznos means she was an adulterer. Yachal, the Brisa said, afil chil Shabbos. Even if she was mechal Shabbos, she should get sreifa. Wait a second, sreifa, according to that means a normal person that does chil Shabbos gets skila, and we're going to say this bas ish kohen will get sreifa. So but that doesn't make sense, because skila, according to the Rabbanan, is more severe than sreifa. So if a regular person gets skila, we're going to say that she's a bas kohen, so she's going to get something less. She should get something worse. Chilul Shabbos bas skili, she should get skila. Amar Rava says no, she is getting something worse. I would have thought that she should get something worth. Hamani Rab Shimon. Abraisa goes according to the opinion of Shimon, Da'ama, who said Sreifa Chamura, that Sreifa is more severe. So therefore, the Brisa said, if you read the pasuk, it perhaps is talking about the Basis Kohen Kiseichel. She was Mechal Shabbos, and I would say like this: Sal Kedaita Chamina. I would have thought Hoyel ve'achmi buhu rachman b'kahane. Since the Torah says kahanim have to be on a higher standard, the Rabbi by mitzvahs Yisayers, they get extra mitzvahs. Tidon b'sreifa. Therefore, this girl, she's Mechal Shabbos, she should get sreifa. Kamash Malan, no, only if she does nus, she gets sreifa, but not if she's Mechal Shabbos. So the Gemara says, Maisha nomine mitida. Didei. Why would I ever have a havamina, a pre-thought, to say that a woman who is Mechal Shabbos should get sreifa, whereas a kohen who's Mechal Shabbos should get the weaker of punishment of skila, according to Reb Shimon? Why would I say that the Torah singled out a girl to get a more severe punishment than if he would be Mechal Shabbos? So the answer is simple. So Al Kadai Techameh would have thought, Ihu, a man, a kohen who's a man, his Chilul Shabbos is not such a Chilul Shabbos, because we find in the Beis Hamikdash there was a lot of Chilul Shabbos, what you would consider Chilul Shabbos, like slaughtering animals. The Ishtarye Shabbos regarding the service in the Beis Hamikdash, there was always Chilul Shabbos. So therefore, we went easy on a kohen. It's Mechal Shabbos. We're not going to give him sreifa. We're going to give him skila. He, I would have thought, came into Ishtarye Shabbos lagava. There's no Shabbos had no permissibility regarding her. She can never be Mechal Shabbos. So therefore, Ema would think that this Bas Kohen, Tida Misreifa, should get the Sreifa punishment. Kamash Malam, that's why the Chumash tells you that no, the pasuk is not even talking about Chilul Shabbos. It's talking about a married woman who had an adulterous relationship. Of course, she's a Bas Kohen. She gets a Sreifa. Now, the Brisa continued. Yochel, I would have thought, Afilu Penuya, even if she was unmarried. So, wait a second. How could I ever think that this pasuk is talking about an unmarried girl, a 15-year-old unmarried girl that is nus? It says she betrayed somebody, and you only betray somebody if you're married to somebody. So how could I ever say that this pasuk is talking about a pnuya, an unmarried woman? And it says the Gemara because it goes. I would think that the pasuk would be interpreted according to Rab Laza, the Amma who said panu haba pnuya. Let's say an unmarried boy has nus with an unmarried bas kohen. Shaloi l'shim ishus, not for the sake of getting married, just to have a good time. Aso ozainish, he made her disqualified from ever. She made her a zaina in the sense not that she's a zaina the way we say it, but she made her disqualified from ever marrying a kohen. That's a very severe opinion of Rabbi Lazar. So therefore, I would think that ubas kohen is that even if she's an unmarried woman, if she had any relations with somebody, I would think that she should get sreifa. That's why we say no. It's talking about a married woman, not an unmarried woman. What does that mean? She's in Samavia. There was a Havamina to say that the pasuk is talking about when does this Bas Kohen get sreifa is only if she did nus with her father. Frag the Gemara, and then she would get sreifa. Then that's how you interpret the pasuk. Then the pasuk is not novel. My area Bas Kohen. Who cares if she was a Bas Kohen? I feel a Bas Yisrael Nami. Even a regular father that has nus with his own daughter gets sreifa. The Amar Rava, Amali Rav Yitzchak Bar Avdimi. Rava said, Asi Heina Heina, Asi Zima Zima. There's a source, a double Gzeres Shava, that teaches you that a father who has nus with his own daughter, even a regular Yisrael, has nus with his own daughter, will get the sreifa punishment. So why would I ever say that this pasuk will be talking about a Bas Kohen, and the Bas Kohen did nus with her father, she gets sreifa? Every person that does nus with their own daughter gets sreifa. So I would say like this: no, Itzrach. I still need the pasuk to teach you Bas Kohen gets sreifa. Salta daik chamima. I would have thought Kro la pukim midrava. The pasuk just tells you just the opposite of what Rava said. I would say only a Bas Kohen gets sreifa and not a Bas Yisrael. Midago Rahman Bas Kohen v'loy Bas Yisrael. If I would have think that the pasuk is that's the point of the pasuk to tell you that only a father of a kohen having relations with his own daughter, they get sreifa, but not a Bas Yisrael. Kamash Mulan. That's why we have the whole pasuk as a he mechaleles, which teaches you that she did znus with not with her father, but she did znus with somebody else. So no matter who does znus with their own daughter, they get sreifa. But the chiddush is that a Bas Kohen, who's a married woman, if she does nus, she doesn't get chenek, she gets sreifa. Now, Bas Kohen, Kamashon Bas Kohen, Ainli Elish Nisas the Kohen, Nisas Levi Yisrael, Lukusi the Kolon, also the Mamzunayin. The Brisa said, how do I know that if she's married to somebody else that disqualifies her from eating truma or disqualifies her from her holiness of a kahuna because she married somebody she's not supposed to marry? How do I know if she did nus, she gets sreifa? Talmud Loime Bas Ish Kohen. She's still the daughter of a Kohen. Doesn't matter. Afal Pisha Eina Kohenes, even if she is not a Kohen because she, had a bad marriage or she married into a goy or she married a kusi or a mamzer, still, if you have relations, if she has an adulterous relation, she's also going to get sreifa. Says the Mishum. So the Gemara asks the question, what do you mean? Mishum dim tzabu lahani labas koini v'su midi kehenes lekoyin ksiv. The Gemara says, why would I ever think that the pasuk would be talking about somebody that married a mom that only married a kohen? First of all, even if she married a mamzer, that doesn't take her out from being a kohen, and Chumash doesn't say ubas ish kohen that married a kohen. It doesn't say that in the pasuk. So how could I ever think that it's talking about somebody who only married a kohen? So the answer is Salka Daita Chamina. I would have thought Ki Seichel Niznois Oma Rahmana. The Torah says that she became defiled from a kohen because she did adultery. Now is the first time she became defiled, not eating truma because she had an adulterous relationship. She was married to a kohen, and now Ki Seichel Niznois is she defiled herself through diznus. And therefore, the pasuk must be talking about a kohenes that's marrying a kohen. Avalha, those cases, if she married a mamzer already, kiva the mitchalda b'kaimim mikora, since she already cannot eat truma because she's married to a mamzer or she's married to a Yisrael, so I would the omamar ubasis ish kisiyah izar kivan sheniva lepasula psala. Even if since she's married to a mamzer, she cannot eat truma. L'levi v'Yisrael name, when she's married to a Levi or Yisrael, during that marriage, she can't eat truva. V'shavel beisavi b'nerel. B'chlal chi isa b'bei lo yachla. When she's still married to him, she can't eat truma, a daughter of a kohen. So all these cases, she wasn't eating. She got into a marriage. She's not eating truma, so she's not really such a kohenes. So I would think the pasuk is not talking about her. I would think in that case, loy tidim b'sreifa. She doesn't get sreifa. Kamash malan, she gets sreifa. Okay, so we see from here that the opinion of this brisa holds that a woman that is married to a Yisrael, a Bas Kohen that's married to Yisrael, if she does nus, she gets sreifa, even though she's not eating truma while she's married to the Yisrael. But this is the loiker Rameir. This doesn't go jive with Rameir, because Rameir says Bas Kohen shnis Yisrael, a Bas Kohen that married to Yisrael, v'achla truma, she ate truma, which she's not supposed to. Mishalamis is a keren, beina mishalamis is a chaimish. She pays the principal back. She doesn't have to pay the extra fine because she's still a Bas Kohen. Umisasa besreifa, she gets sreifa. Okay, that's so far so good. But nisas le'echem and apsulim. Let's say she married a mamzer, then mishalamis karen b'chaimish, she would pay the karen b'chaimish. Umisasai b'chenek, and she gets chenek. And our brisa says that even if she's married to a mamzer, she would still get sreifa. The Rameir. The Chachamim. So therefore, our brisa is not like Rameir. The Chachamim say Zu v'zu Mishlam karen v'loy chomish u'misusasam b'sreifa. You both, in both cases, she gets to pay the karen, not the chomish, and the misa is with sreifa, even if she's married to a mamzer. So, bottom line is, you learned the brisa. The brisa is the opinion of Rab Shimon, and the part of the brisa says that a basis kohen, even if she's a married woman and she does nus, if she's an engaged girl that does nus, and because she's a bas ish kohen, she's going to get sreifa. Rab Lezer says a new opinion. Esavia, if she married when she's besreifa, vesachamia beskila. Now we have to examine those words. My esavia besachamia. Ilema, would you say esavia means may of via? She did nus with her father, she gets sreifa. Okay, that makes sense. Vesachamia, if she does nus with her father-in-law, she gets skila. That would make sense too, because that's the chumash. But then the problem is, if that's what the Chumash is talking about, my area bas kohen, who cares if it's a bas kohen? Afilu bas Yisrael name, even a regular Jewish girl, a father doing znus with his own daughter gets reifa. The kalose, a father doing his nus with his daughter-in-law gets skila. So why is it singled out by a bas kohen? Ella esavia means b'shusavia. Esavia means, Reb Lezer says, esavia means she did znus while she was an engaged woman. The es she did it when she with her father-in-law. It doesn't mean she did it with her father-in-law, but she b'shus chamia when she's a married woman and she's she can visit her father-in-law. So that means she's in a suah. Come on. So therefore, who is the opinion Reb Lezer following? Look what she says. If you say that Reb Lezer aligns himself up with Rabbanan, the Rabbanan say a bas koyim. Bas koyim nusua yatzah l'sreifa. Only if she's married, she goes l'sreifa. V'loy arusa. Arusa would get skila. And here, he's saying an arusa, a savia, gets sreifa. Rab Shimon, if Reb Lezer agreed with Rab Shimon, ha'ama achas arucha, achas arusa, achas nusua b'sreifa. He says a bas kohen, arusa or nusua would still get sreifa, would get the burning. And Reb Lezer says only if she's engaged she gets sreifa. When she's married, she gets skila. So he won't agree with Rabbi Shimon. V'ik Rabbi Shmuel, and now he has a new opinion. Rabbi Shmuel holds ha'ama, who says a bas kohen arusa yatzas l'sreifa. So far, so good. Arusa gets sreifa. V'loy nesua, not a nesua. Eschemia cheneku. But v'loy nesua eschemia, when she's married woman, she gets chenek like a regular married person. So that's totally not like anybody, because he says chamia, she gets skila, but according to Rabbi Shmuel, she gets chenek. So again, the bottom line is Rabbi Lezer has no partners, not Rabbanan, not Rabbi Shimon, not Rabbi Shmuel. Shalach Ravin. So Ravin tried to explain Mishmei Rabbi Yosef Bechini. Kachi Etzal Shal Mishnah. This is how you read the Mishnah. Lo'ilam Karabbanan. Really, Rabbi Lezer holds like Rabbanan. Vachi Kaman. This is what he meant to say. Kol Shi Lamata Mimisa Savia. If she gets less than sreifa, let's say a woman who's less than sreifa, which is a man nihu, what type of woman gets less than sreifa? Nesua bas Yisrael, regular married woman gets chenek if she's an adulterer. If she's mizana with anybody else but her father, Thili Nesua bas Yisrael gets chenek. Hacha, by the bas kohen, she's going to get b'misa savia. She's going to get the same death as if her father was mizana with her, which means b'sreifa. She gets sreifa. Let's say she gets more than sreifa, because the Rabbanan hold what's more than sreifa skila. Umanihu, what's that case? Arusa bas Yisrael, a normal arusa bas Yisrael. So the ila arusa bas Yisrael ba'alma b'skila, a regular unmarried engaged bas Yisrael gets skila. Nara marasa gets skila. So a bas kohen hacha b'misas chamia, when she's a bas kohen and she is a Misas Chamia, she's going to get, as if she was Mizana with her father-in-law, she's also going to get skila. So a bas Kohen, who is an Arusa, will get skila. So this aligns itself up with Rabbanan, except you need fancy reading into what Rabbi Loza said. So that's the question. Maskala Rabbi Yirmiyah, midin malo mataktani. This is such a fancy way of reading Rabbi Lezer, it's hard to imagine that this is what he meant. It doesn't say above and below. Elam Rabbi Yirmiyah explained, we go to Ahmed Beis, Halaylam Rabbi Shmuel. Really, he goes like Rabbi Shmuel. The hachi kama, and this is what Rabbi Lazar meant to say. Esavia b'shusavia, if she does things while she's by her father's house, b'sreifa. The eschamia, if she's mizana with her father-in-law, mechamia b'skila. So again, she's an arusa. Arusa bas kohen gets skila, gets reifa, and if she does nus with her father-in-law, she gets skila. So l'chol adam, if she does nus with anybody else, chenek, she gets the choking death. But you have to reinterpret. Esavia means b'shusavia, and eschamia means she does with her father-in-law. Amarava, that doesn't either make sense. Mari irya, what do I my shnoa? Mamish, rishus. You're telling me the S has a different interpretation by each one. Regarding esavia means in the domain of her father, and eschamia means from her father. Ella Amarava, Rava said, La'olam Krab Shimon. V'kasava Rabbi Lazar Nesua Ka'arusa. Rabbi Lazar holds and Nesua is like a Arusa. And my Arusa Chadarga Maskinila, Meskila L'Sreifa. Just like in Arusa, we go up a level. That Nara Bas Yisrael, Nara Marasa Bas Yisrael gets Skila, Nara Bas Kohen will get Sreifa. Af Nesua, Chadarga Maskinila. We go up just one notch. A normal Bas Yisrael that's married, that did nos, gets chanek, she's going to get skila, and that's how he lines himself up. So the maskif la Rab Chanina, but that's not like Rab Shimon. Ha'idi v'idi, Rab Shimon holds that a married woman bas kohen will also get sreifa kama. Ella Amar Ravina, so Ravina says loylam karabonim. Really, he holds like rabbonim be'epach, and I'm going to turn it around. Esavia beskila, deschamia besreifa. That means esavia. That means esavia means you turn around. This was a wrong girsa. Esavia, she did it. B'shusavia means she's an amurasa, she gets skila. Deschamia, if she's a married woman, she gets reifa. Why didn't she say just now if she's a moreses, she gets skila, and she's nesua, she gets reifa? Why didn't she use these fancy words? He was trying to use the language that the Tanakama used, but that's exactly what he meant. So both, we're going to stop in one more minute. Both Ravan that explained Rabbi Elazar and Ravina who explained Rabbi Elazar, each explained it differently. Both say that Rabbi Elazar holds like Rabbanan. So the Gemara concludes, Amar Rav Nachman, Amar Rabba Bavu, Amar Rav, halacha kedushalach Ravan mishmeid Rabbi Yosef B'Chanina, that the halacha is like Ravan explained Rabbi Elazar, like the opinion of Rabbanan. Again, what's the opinion of Rabbanan? A bas kohen arusa gets skila, a bas kohen nesua, only a bas kohen nesua will get sreifa. Amar Rav Yosef, Hilchas Mashiach, who cares? Do I need to know the halacha when Mashiach comes? We don't kill women anyway. We don't do arba misas bezdin. Abaye says, what kind of question is that? Let's not learn anything about Seder Kachim. Hilchas Mashiach, do we learn halachas that are known apply bisman azeh? El Droish v'Kabbaskar. We learn Masechtas Vachim, Chulin, Menachas. We learn it and we get reward. Hachanami. Even though there's no Arba Misas today, Droish v'Kabbaskar. Oh, let's learn it and we Kabbaskar. So what does he mean? Rav Yosef says, oh, you don't need to tell me like Ravin that Rab Lazar holds like Rabbanim because we don't give Misa anyway. But so what? It's good to know who the halach is. So no, Hachi Ka'am relay. This is what we're going to say. Here we're going to stop. Hilkas Alamali. What do I need to know the halacha of how to interpret Rabbi Lazar? It's not a word that you say halacha. Sugi d'shmaitza halacha kamar. He doesn't understand that for a sugya that you don't know who to paskin, then you use the word halacha. But if it's an interpretation of what another Tana said, you don't say halacha like this Tana explaining that, like the Meir who explained that Tana. It's just an interpretation, but it's not a halachic matter, and therefore you wouldn't use the word halacha. Okay, we will start over here.